Good evening and welcome to Season 15 of Next Gen. This is the Group A1 Tourers and it's round number 10, so we're into the final 3 rounds. We're here at Zolder for it, and everyone is in the Mercedes 190Es Evo 2s. And it's also a top 4 reverse grid, which means the top 4 in the championship cannot qualify. And they will be setting times to put them at the back of the grid and in reverse order of the championship standings as they are. So, because of this, it means we get to be joined by Jack for qualifying.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me back in, Jord.
No worries, well, you're the stat man, so we can poke and prod you for 15 minutes for various stats. Let's have a quick recap of the as Burnt Fry disconnects. Luckily he's got about 11 minutes to get back into the session. Let's have a recap of the championship standings whilst everyone goes out for their out laps and first qualifying laps. Scooby G is leading the championship on 155 points. He will be starting at the back of the grid. Jack, who's with us at the moment, is in second on 133, with Jamie on 132. Adam Morris and the Les are joint on 116 for fourth, but the Les is not racing tonight, so Adam will be the fourth person to be starting at the back. Johnny is on 89, Burnt Fry 87, Lightblade 76, Royston 67, NGR Lee, who no longer participates as he's gone to the master race of PCs, he's on 61. Liner Greasby is on 60, D Whitehouse 7 56, Shadowstalker 47, Tim 46, Bob Mark 1 30, Omega 24, Tro is on 23 with Cow123 Deers on 19. Jorginho is on 15 and Mikey RK 13 is yet to score all season long. So that is the state of play. We will have 14 drivers in. Starting off with this man, Jorginho 26. He's been a new addition this season and he's been fighting in the mid-pack. He's been quite quick in there, so look forward to another good battle with him in the middle. Obviously Tim 78, the resident. I don't really know. He's just a resident of the Group A's, to be honest. He's here every week in, week out. Pretty much always finishes, so it's good to see him back again. Scooby G, obviously the championship leader. D Whitehouse 7, Webby's a Johnny. Lightblade is here. Again, another good addition for the Group A1s. Adam Morris is in the pits for some reason. Shadowstalker is back. Pit Lane Jamie, he is a debutant. We'll ask Jack in a bit whether he knows anything of him, what we could expect. Bob Mark 1, Jamie WRX, Liner Greasby, who I will remind everyone is on controller, and that is probably not a bad thing around Zolder. It's quite nice to controllers at times. Obviously Jack being host, and we've just seen Burnt Fry rejoin the session. Again, another good addition. So, we've gone through all the formalities. Obviously, we're here at Zolder. We will go through a lap of Zolder at some point. We'll probably get Jack to do that. But, Jack, Pit Lane Jamie, obviously new tonight.
Yeah, he's new tonight. Jamie, obviously, also, funnily enough, like our resident Jamie, he's also works in motorsport, funnily enough. He's actually does pit lane commentary in Real Motorsports, funnily enough. Surprisingly, which is news to me. He's a brand new member to Next Gen as well. So, in terms of how quick he is, I've got no clue. But he said, he's feeling, relatively okay about things. He doesn't expect to win anything. So, nice to see a sort of a level-headed look at it. But I think, we'll see how qualifying goes for him, and hopefully he'll have a nice debut.
Yeah, obviously we've had a few debutants this season, which has been quite good. They've all been very good additions to the Group A1s, but Lightblade and Burnt Fry especially quite good this season. Obviously,
yeah, definitely, both full-timers, and we've had a couple of other additions as well. Shadowstalker, he surprisingly had never raced in the Group A1s, despite being in Next Gen for as long as I have, which is a surprise in that case. And they've all done really well, and there's been some really nice sort of rewarding results for some drivers, which is what it's all about, really. And like tonight, top 4 Group A1 reverse grid just gives those a chance potentially to get a shot at the front.
Now, speaking of the top four reverse grid, because of that, and because Les is not racing tonight, someone is going to take pole position here for the first time.
Yep.
So someone new is going to get a pole position point for Zolder, which is, it can go a long way, a pole position point.
It can, and I think as well as that, looking at it from a sort of host's perspective, I think it's really nice when you get a new addition on the podium or a new pole position, something like that. I think that's always quite nice to have. And that's why really the top four reverse grid's there, just for that purpose, and just gives everyone another chance.
Now, so if you sent me earlier, the pole position last season was by NGR Lee, 141.3, and I believe this was because Lee was at he didn't really have a great season, so he was kind of outside the top four for most of it. And that was back in the Sierra, with Les getting fastest lap with a 141.9. And obviously, you're not expecting as quick a times because we are in the Mercs, and this circuit's a very power-dependent circuit at times with its long straights.
That's definitely true, Jordan. I agree with you on that, and I think it'll be difficult for tonight's race. I think normally the rules for the Group A1s is that we run, normally the real date in terms of just the weather conditions, but Zolder's got a very strange surface in terms of when it comes to the weather, so it's running on just July weather currently, so more sort of summer than anything else. So there'll be a bit more grip available just to stop any additional spins, because Zolder's been infamous with Group A1s in terms of wet races and everything, so have a dry one for a change.
Speaking of Zolder, 2.492 miles long. This particular variation has been implemented since 2006. The only change was in 2007, which was the pit lane. Over in Belgium, it's a notoriously tricky track because it's quite hard to get a flow around Zolder. As you can tell, it's got multiple chicanes, two of them of which can be very, very tricky, the Villeneuve chicane and the Klein chicane. So it's going to be interesting. Whoever can find the best possible flow is probably likely to win around here.
Yes, that's always the case. Zolder, with obviously track limits are on as well tonight, so that stops any form of cutting. I don't think Zolder's too harsh really with its track limits compared to the rest of the game in that sense, and I think there's a little bit of leeway at the chicanes, which is the main worry really for sort of track limits around here. So I think getting that flow right, and the Mercedes being quite a tricky car actually. I know people say it's easy to drive, but Zolder's just the sort of track that gets the Merc's tail out a little bit more compared to where a normal track would be. So that flow, like you said, is going to be the critical part really, and the speed naturally as well.
Okay, right. Currently, we got 6.5 minutes left. D Whitehouse 7 is on provisional pole position by a good second actually to Light Blade. 124.6 actually from Davies. He spins it going through turn number 3, no, number 4 that is. Light Blade at 145.7. It's all, well, I see that pretty. Pit lane Jamie in third at the moment, 146.3, so good start for him. Line of Greasby on 146.5. He's on controller, but like I said, Zolder can actually work in the controller's favours thanks to the tighter corners.
Yeah, definitely, for certain. Obviously, ourselves know full well in terms of what the controller's like around certain circuits. We've both been there in the past, me and you, Jordan. And I think round here you're going to have a good advantage on the control. I wouldn't say an advantage, but more of an equal playing field. And like I mentioned earlier, in terms of new additions on the podium, potential pole positions, as Lightblade now goes quicker than anyone. Let's not forget Line of Greasby. 2 rounds ago, back at Imola, he managed to get third place, his first ever podium. So you never know. Tonight, things might work out differently, but it's got a good chance of repeating another good result. Yeah,
with that down, remember 2 very nice moves on the Les as well, going into the first corner. So a couple of comments. Matthew Jordan, otherwise known as Cam13 Diz, saying, evening, lovely car, track combination, this one he enjoys anyway. with a bit of a laugh at the end of it. We all know this car is like Cam's heaven.
It's funny you should say that. I was mentioning, hello to Matt. I was mentioning yourself before, Matt. In terms of this would be Cam 123 is his perfect combo, really, in terms of performance. The only other track I'd say that Cam's probably better at is Hockenheim, but he's equally quick. It doesn't matter really where he is. He's so fast in the Mercedes. I miss him tonight because I think he'd have been an absolute viable candidate for the win.
And Scooby G allegedly saying he's going to win. Well, we'll see about that, because it looks like you've got some strong competition tonight with Lightblade and Dean Whitehouse 7 up at the front. Let's find someone and go for a lap, shall we? Who we got coming around? Let's go on board with Lightblade. He's currently pulsing. Jack, would you care to take us round on Lightblade's bonnet if you can get in time?
Of course, no problem. I'm already onto Lightblade at the moment as he comes out the final corner. Cracking circuit, Zolder, one of my favourites. To be personal about it, it is a really good track. He's on the left-hand side. I'm assuming he's going to swing over to the right. No, he's going to go to the pits.
Okay,
wow.
Let's pit lane Jamie then. We'll go for pit lane Jamie. He seems to be winding up for a lap.
I hope he is after that one, because I think that's the first time that's ever happened. But as I was saying, Zolder, fantastic circuit, and Jamie's going to the right-hand side. So yeah, let's see. He's gone 9 tenths quick. He's just gone third for that matter. Coming into this sort of quite long apex left-hander, it goes on forever. Jamie's done quite well. He's using 4th gear there as opposed to 3rd in my own personal case. Knocks it down into 3rd. Maybe will he go 2nd? No, he keeps it in 3rd. Really bumpy exit in this car, and it's sort of the Mercedes just sort of bobs over the bumps. You can sort of see it on the POV from Jordan's perspective. Down into this right-hander, really tricky right-hander. Jamie's caught the curb, which I was just about to mention, and he's gone. And that's the thing with this car and that curb. If you put the accelerator down, you spin round. It's just how this track works out. He's carried on though, fair play to him. He's lost 5 seconds, nice pirouette. Comes down to the chicane, he's going to have no grip, so he's going to run over the chicane. He's gone completely off the road. Who's behind him, Jordan?
We have Shadowstalker at DBS, 9th place at the moment.
Shadowstalker. Yeah, well, Shadowstalker's just coming over the top. He's only, 5 seconds off the pace, coming down into the chicane. Now, track limits here are on, but because of the natural line, which Shadowstalker I think might have took a little bit too much of, you can use that curve. Little tricky section for 2nd gear, but then you're going around this 3rd gear right-hander. You can take it flat in the Merc. Shadowstalker obviously electing to take it a little bit easier. No harm done in that one. 7 tenths up on his best lap. Coming down into the hairpin. Got to get this nailed into 2nd gear. Shadowstalker goes to 1st. He's run a little bit wide, but that's fair enough. That's how it is around that corner. You can sometimes get away with lines. That little chicane we just gone through, not really a corner to be honest, as we come down to this final chicane. Track limits are quite tough here, quite cruel, and Shadowstalker's hooked it up really well. Good exit. He's on the power a bit early, but he's done well. I hope the car, if he realises the car in front of him is going slowly as he comes to the line, he should be quicker. He is. Yeah,
1.7 puts him up into 8th place. A good lap that from Shadowstalker. I like the fact that because you haven't got a map, you can't pronounce any of the corner names, which I'm not. Well, I can pronounce some of them, but not all of them.
I think this is. I used to know a few of them, but unfortunately I don't anymore. It's been a long time.
He's coming up now to Lucien Bianchi box.
After Jules Bianchi's grandfather. Lucien himself was a famous open wheel racer. He used to drive Bugattis back in the late 40s, 50s.
And then obviously you got the Klein chicane down here, followed by Sacrament Shelling.
He's just moving out of the way for, I think that's I think Dave's there. Oh no, Dave's facing backwards the wrong way. Pit lane Jamie's gone for a spin. He's going to spin in front of... Ooh, I think that was Shadowstalker, who did quite well to avoid it.
Anyway, we have 17 seconds left of the qualifying session. So who's going to be first across the line? Gerino just coming across. He's for his next lap. And a nice little surprise.
The first to hit the lap, the end of the time counter is going to be Lightblade.
It will be, yeah. So what can Lightblade do? He's 4/10 up at the moment on DY House 7. And if him and DY House 7 can, along with Lion Greasby and Pit Lane Jamie, if they can all work together, they could get away at the start. And cause you guys at the back problems. But Lightblade comes across the line, does not improve. It's going to be
It's
Jamie.
just Bob who's on a
It's
lap.
just Bob left, yeah. Jamie Osley not on a lap. He's at the back of the pack. So back
Oh, and he's gone. Shame for Bob. He looked like he was on a decent lap there as well. So, there's our pole position then.
Yep, it's going to be this man, Lightblade 2K18 in the number 90 machine. He'll take pole position, and well, I think it's his first pole position as well for Lightblade, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, all the qualifiers tonight obviously had the first chance ever to take pole position. And as he goes back into the pits, he's celebrating vigorously, I imagine.
Jamie's decided donuts are in order for qualifying 12th because he had no choice.
I've just had a comment from Dave Whitehouse, who's currently in second. He said he was 0.8 up on his best lap, and then he lost it and he spun at the final corner, which I did see on my own feed. Which was, I didn't realise he was 8/10 up, but that's cost him.
Yeah.
It's still his best. It's still his best ever qualifying position, though, in second. That's something to take out of it.
Cam123D is commenting on the stream saying he's looking forward to racing again in a few weeks' time.
When he says a few weeks, we've only got two rounds after this.
Yeah. Hopefully means a couple.
I hope you're there for Alton Park.
I can see Jamie just doing a few practice starts as he crosses the line. So the qualifying's ended. Lightblade 2K18.
Later.
Yes, thank you, Jack. Lightblade 2K18 takes pole position from DY House 7. Row 2 consists of Lionel Greasby and Pit Lane Jamie. A good start for the debutant. Brent Fry says he's from Russia. I don't think he is, but he lines up 5th alongside him. Jorino 26. Bob Mark 1 is 7th with Shadowstock 8th. Row 5, NGR Tim, a good result by him, beating web user Johnny to 9th. Then we have Andrew Morris, Jamie, Jack and Scooby, who all have times in relation to their relative positions due to the top 4 reverse grid. So if you are watching, do comment who do you think is going to win this, and please do comment throughout the race. It'll be interesting to see what everyone's thoughts are as we go through. Racing just minutes away. See the guys having a bit of a natter at the moment after qualifying. A little 2-3 minutes of talk just to discuss what's happened through there, see what sort of mind games can happen. Looks like Cam saying, well, hopefully he'll be around for more of next season. Yeah, it's you do mean 3 weeks. It's a shame. We always look forward to a new race, Cam. But we are going to get ready here for Zolder. We have 15 laps. We have the 3 red lights. We are green as Zolder, and it's a poor getaway from Lightblade. Someone else behind has not got off the line very well. A few bits of bumping behind. But DY House 7 now leads. Lightblade on the outside with Lionel Greasby in the middle. He's got, that's Burnt Fry down the inside. Someone spun it. That looks like an NGR tag. Or is it Bob? Could be Bob. As we head into turn number 2, Burnt Fry's gone down the order now to 6th. Jack is up to 5th. What a great start by him. And Jamie, who's now into 3rd with Anamara 2nd. Those 3 have had tremendous starts, but DY House 7 leads coming out of turn number 2 and 3 into turn 4. Jorino stays 6th. Burnt Fry. There's Scooby G. He's down in 8th. And Pit Lane Jamie is at the back of the pack. He's obviously had something happen to him that we've not caught. Maybe, I don't think it was him that went round either. Scooby G, not as good a start though as Jack and the others in the title race. And here comes Adam Morris down the inside into the Villeneuve chicane. He's going to get the move complete, and he moves into the lead. which is a good start for his campaign for the championship title. Lightblade right behind Jack. He's going to cause Jack some difficulties now. As we head over butts and in... Not over butts. We're heading into Boulder Bird Box. And Lightblade sends it down the inside of Jack into the hairpin, and he gets the move done into 4th place. You can see our championship protagonists need to be careful. They need to be wise. They need to pick their fights very carefully. Try not to fight too much who you don't need to. Pit Lane Jamie now has a corner cut penalty, and Jamie WRX is looking to the outside of DY House 7, but behind we've also got Lightblade 2K18. Side by side action then this for the 2nd place, and Lightblade 2K18 looking to make it 3 wide going into turn number 2. Can't quite make it around the outside, but here comes Jack down the inside. Jack in the Sonex machine, but Jamie does make the move stick for 2nd place. Lightblade now gets overtaken by Jack. Or does he? No, he doesn't. That's great driving from Lightblade. Squeezing just enough, but leaving a car's width. Scooby G into 7th, looking for a move on Torino. He's on the outside for the Klein chicane, which will pretty much never work, although Torino has made a mistake going out. He looks like he just got the back end out slightly too much. And that puts him behind Scooby G. Anamora is now 2.9 down the road from Jamie. And we have Lightblade all over the back of Johnny, but he's also got to be careful because Jack is right behind him. On board with Jack. On the outside, and he's got Lightblade into the same place. Lightblade done him just a lap ago. He realises Scooby's behind and he's got to get on with it. The more points he can score here, the better for him. His next victim will be DY House 7. Remember, a Johnny. Up into 7th at the moment. Got Jorginho behind him with Lionel Greasby behind that. Pit Lane Jimmy is going to catch him to an NGR tag. I suggest that could be Tim. But I've been wrong before about Tim. He could be in 12th. Across the line. Johnny under attack from Jorginho. Looking down the inside for turn number 1. And a collision between the two. Just a slight tap. Luckily Johnny doesn't go around. And he's managed to keep the place to 7th place. Lionel Greasby not really getting too involved in that. But DY has him now down into 5th place. Scooby G forcing DY House 7 to go maybe a bit defensive. He tries to fake it. Can't quite do anything there though. Lightblade still hassling Jack here. DY House 7 got a bad run off the Klein chicane, but not bad enough for Scooby G to capitalise. Scooby G down the inside. That looked like a bumping front between Jack and Lightblade. Scooby G squeezed to the outer parts of the curb by DY House 7. Into the hairpin. Scooby G sends to the inside. He's going to have to give that one back. As Pit Lane Jamie moves up into 13th. Lionel Greasby has spun or done something in the background because he's now down to 12th place. There is Tim. But Fry, I don't know who that was, but Pit Lane Jamie is gradually getting on the back of him. You are Scooby G. Still on the tail of DY House 7. And still he can't quite get past. But I know someone who is looking to get past someone. It's going to be Pit Lane Jamie. He's on the back of Burn Fry going into turn 2. Trying to get that all-important traction down. got good speed coming out of Lucian Bianchi Bock. Still can't quite get the speed though. Although Shadowstalker in the gravel. Good cameraman work. Yeah, Shadowstalker getting out of the way. Pit Lane Jamie up into the top 10. But he does have penalties of 1 second. Same as Burnt Fry. And Scooby G has finally got past DY Hatton. Looks like it's into the hairpin. Job was a good one. Adam Morris starting to check out here. He's 3.6 up on Jamie WRX. And the man who's fourth in the championship, looking to capitalise on his early getaway. Meanwhile, Shadowstalker has Line of Greaseby for company. Down to turn number 2. And get close to Shadowstalker to make the move. He is only 0.4 behind, so slipstream will be helpful as they head through turn 4 and down towards the climbing chicane for the 5th time of 15. This race just breezing by to head into the climbing chicane for the 5th time. For a better exit, couldn't quite get it. Into the Vilna chicane, but he's got down the inside. I would say that's a great move, but you're going to have to give that one back. Couldn't quite make the second part. And the race continues between these two for 11th place. Line of Greaseby down the inside again. No, not quite. Decides better of it. Although Shadowstalker locks up. And Line of Greaseby gets past, but no, almost to no avail. Gets it all squarely off the grass, and now Shadowstalker retakes the place of 11th. Into the final chicane at Jackie X Bock. And Line of Greaseby has had 2 great chances here to get past Shadowstalker. Oh, and he's lost it through turn number 1. Into the barrier, and Line of Greaseby will no longer be pestering Shadowstalker anymore. Killing Jamie. Can't quite get on the back of Burnt Fry at the moment, and it'll be slightly frustrating for him. But where's Jack? Jack's down to 5th for some bizarre reason. Scooby G up into 3rd. Luckily, he's still on the back of the train. And this changes the complexion of things because Scooby G now in ahead of Jack on effectively being extending his lead. Remember, the points I ran out earlier in qualifying are still subject to change due to a drop score system implemented for this season. 2 drop scores will be implemented, so the first of those drop scores will be taken after round 11 next round. As everything just settles down a bit, looks like Pit Lane Jamie's had either a cut penalty or a mistake, a spin or something. He's now at 3 seconds off the pace of Burnt Fry. Now everything's calmed down just a little bit for now. I wonder what everyone's thoughts are on the opening half of this race as we are on lap number 7. Be interesting to know all of your guys' thoughts because it's been a bit hectic as Lightblade runs wide into the gravel now. And he spins across. So Jack takes back fourth. I don't know what's happened to D-White House 7. Where's D-White House 7? He is... I think he might have had a bit of a moment elsewhere, to be honest. But Jack now, 2.5 to catch the championship leader. And the top four are almost the top four reverse of the championship. Jack almost losing the back end, going through the fast right-hander. He is pushing that car, and it's cost him about a second and a half there. 3.9 the gap. Now we know Scooby G, he doesn't often make mistakes, so it's very hard to catch him. Pitling Jamie has got past Burnt Fry, and he spun it, coming out of the fast right-hander, allowing Burnt Fry back through. There's Jorginho, with Johnny just ahead of him. Johnny though, still slugging away. Lightblade is now down behind the White House 7. So they head through the Vienna chicane. Lightblade's on the tail. Literally on the tail of the White House 7 coming out of the Vienna chicane through the flick right-hander. Into the hairpin right we go. This the battle for fifth. These two very closely matched this season. As they head into the chicane, and again we get very close to the rear bumper of D White House 7. Great exit though from Lightblade. Down to the first corner. We've also got Jorginho behind, looking to make a move on maybe to Johnny. Oh, Lightblade still there, still there, still there. Still on the inside. That's a great move from Lightblade. 2K18 round the outside of one. Into the inside for the next. Great move from Lightblade. Into the top five then. Jorginho was right on the tail of Johnny. Looks like he's not been able to complete his move. Johnny Shadow Stalker has been overtaken by Pitling Jamie. Meanwhile, D-7 trying to mount an attack on Lightblade. And Jack is slowly closing in on Scooby G. D-7 just losing touch. With Lightblade, oh, I was in the background though. Jorginho back on the tail of web user Johnny. Looking to get a move done himself. This for 8th and 7th. And Jack's had a moment. He's now 10 seconds off of Scooby G. Probably just pushing it as hard as he can, and he's just got it wrong slightly. Probably through turn 2. DYL7's got it horribly wrong. What the hell happened to him? So now we've got the battle for 6th. I'll look back in the stream, see if I can find what he's done. See through the Klein Chicane, and Jorginho still having a good look at the moment. Through the Vero Chicane. Oh, looks like DY7 just spun it going through the first turn. But Jorginho still on the tail of Baby to Johnny. Into Jackie Xbox. Down towards turn 1 again. See, the time's virtually similar throughout these three. Obviously, one DY7's 153.2 because he spun it through turn 1 last time around. We're on lap number 11 into the final third of this race, and these three don't look like they're going to give up anytime soon. Meanwhile, Burton Fry, this for 11th place, is on the tail of Shadow Stalker. Meanwhile, the cameraman's doing a fantastic job of following Jorginho and Webster Johnny. DY7 in the background, he has spun it, and pit lane Jamie now up into 8th. Jorginho now looking to the inside, going up to the final chicane, can't quite do anything. Brent Fry has, in the meantime, got past Shadow Stalker. You're watching this battle brew. Lively's had a bad lap, a 151.4. And here comes Jorginho, look down the inside, off turn number 1. Again, can't quite get the overlap required. That is Bob Mike 1, spun it at turn 1. We have got a retirement on the list. I believe it's NGR Tim. Yes, it is. Jorginho, he's got the pace, he just can't quite get there. Constantly draws up to the back of Johnny, and Scooby G's made a mistake somewhere, because Scooby G is now within striking distance of Jack TM53 Synopsis. As we head towards the end of this race, another twist in the story of this championship. This is for the final podium place, and if Jack gets past Scooby G, okay, it won't be a lot of points, but it reduces the lead he has at the top. And once you get the drop scores filled in, things will probably look very, very different. Across the line, and Jack will be absolutely up for this fight as he drifts it. Oh, he's spun it. Half spun it into the wall. Luckily he's got away with it, but again, oh, he's just within reaching distance and he's just got the back end out. Torino has tailed off the back of Webby's of Johnny. And if he's not careful, he's going to get into the clutches of pit lane Jamie. Oh, Jack, you don't want to be making mistakes like that, buddy. DY7 is having a horror show right now. He's down in 12th now. He's pulling over. I fear this is the end of D Whitehouse 7. Scooby G, he really has got away with one on that one. But if he makes another mistake, that won't be too harsh either. We do like a good scrap for a podium place. Jack looking to claw that time back. He's got to get 2.2 seconds within the next lap. He needs at least one lap to attack Scooby G, minimum. I mean, in reality, you probably need 3 or 4 if you want to try and get past Scooby. But Jack's going to have to pull back those 2.2 seconds now and go after him on that one lap he could potentially have. But the lap times say that's not going to happen. The guys at the front, Anna Morris, Jamie, 2.3 between each other. They're gone and away. Meanwhile, Webby's Johnny's find himself with Torino on his tail again, and pit lane Jamie is gradually pulling up to them. And pit lane Jamie's looking quick. A 1:45.3 last time around. Bear in mind, he's still got that 1 second penalty, I believe. Which has turned into 3 seconds worth of penalties. As Torino goes off at turn number 1, he just gets the back end a bit loose, and that means pit lane Jamie up into 7th. But remember, he's got to pull out a 3-second gap. Which is easier said than done, really. Meanwhile, Scooby G's lost a bit of time because Jack's only a second behind. Jack needs to pull that second out now. You see Scooby all over the road, really. And it probably is costing him time. And Jack just able to hold the car tighter, shortening the circuit. This fight's not over. Oh, now it is. That's, dear. Oh dear. Johnny, pit lane Jamie behind. Let's not talk about that again. All season, Jack's been there, and he's just faltered out right when he needs to be on it. Big shame. But, yeah, now Scooby really does have to make a phenomenal mistake to get Jack back in the game there. Torino doing a good job of sticking with pit lane Jamie right now. But pit lane Jamie has a 3-second penalty, which he's going to have to pull out now to keep his 7th place. He'll end up 8th. Shadowstalker's got back past Burton Fry. Pit lane Jamie loses the rear this time into turn number 1. Torino gets past him. Shadowstalker, Burton Fry. Here they are in the flesh. Headliner Greasby in 9th. Yeah, just losing the rear end going through turn number 1. Not quite as badly as some other people, but he's definitely lost time. But Anna Morris, we just catch him now, crosses the line for the win. Jamie WRX is in 2nd. Scooby G, he's gotten away with this one today massively. as he comes into the final corners. Scooby G finishes third. Final stop at the podium for him. Jack, it was there, and it just wasn't quite there. He finishes in 4th place. TY House 7 will finish in 12th. Lightblade will take a top 5, which he'll be happy with. A great drive from that man, sticking it to Jack and Co at the beginning, but in the end, not quite enough. But Webby to Johnny, he will finish in 6th from Torino, from pit lane Jamie, who there you go, side by side. A great battle between these three, all, well, for the most part, the latter part of the race. Bob Mark 1 finishes down in 13th. Lionel Greasby, the man on a pad. He's going to finish in 9th place. I think he'll be happy with that. It's been a difficult one, but he's got a top 10. And Burton Fry with a top 10 himself in 10th. He tries to roll it, can't quite do it, but Shadows Looker will come home in 11th. And that's the race done here for the Group A1s at Zolder. So provisional results are as follows. Adam Morris takes the win from Jamie WRX. Scooby G is in 3rd, Jack in 4th, Lightblade is in 5th, Johnny 6th, Jorinho finishes 7th, Pillay Jamie 8th on debut. Not a bad start, obviously could have been better, probably should have been better, but a new mistake at the start of the race put pay to that. Line Greasby 9th, Burton Fry 10th, Shadow Stalker 11th, DY House 7 12th, Bob Mark 1 13th, and Tim retired after 5 laps of competition in 14th. So that's it for the Group A1 Tourers. Next up is the modern touring cars from Zhuhai International for round number 10 for them. So do stay tuned for that one. Next up for the Group A1 Tourers, though, the penultimate round of the season, round number 11 of 12. And we are heading to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in the BMW M1 Pro cars for the penultimate round. So do stay tuned, do join us next week for that one. But as I said, next week, that's for next week. Next up is Zhuhai International with the modern touring cars, so hopefully you can join us there in about 5-10 minutes. But from myself and the Group A1 Tourers, thank you for watching tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening.